Listen to me. You're not just a name on paper. You are a walking brand. Every move you make, every word you speak, every goal you chase, that's your brand. You don't need a logo. You need discipline. You don't need a tagline. You need consistency. Branding yourself ain't about how many followers you got. It's about how many people believe in you because of how you live. I'm not talking about faking it online. I'm talking about becoming in real life. The grind, the hustle, the character, that's your brand. People remember what you stand for, not what you post about. So every single day, you're either building your brand or breaking it down. You choose. Now, let me break it down for you. Here are 10 keynotes on how to brand yourself the right way. You want people to recognize your name? You want to be remembered, respected, and known in every room you walk into? Then stop worrying about your image and start focusing on your grind. Your work ethic is your real logo, not your profile picture, not your TikTok bio, not your resume. Your hustle, that's what defines you. That's what sticks in people's minds when they think about you. And I'm telling you right now, real branding happens in the dark, when nobody's watching, when the lights are off, when it's just you, your dream, and the decision. Do I go back to sleep or do I go to war? Your work ethic is what speaks for you when you're not in the room. You don't need to talk big when your effort is loud. I didn't get here by having a clean brand. I got here by working like my life depended on it. While some of you are posting motivational quotes, others are out there living there. I need you to stop looking cute and start getting gritty. Oh, start getting gritty. You know what your logo should be? The fact that when the team shows up at 6 a.m., you already warmed up. That while everyone else is checking in, you already checked out of excuses. That people don't even ask if you'll show up anymore. They know you're already there. That's your brain. Reliability, relentlessness, ruthless consistency. Nobody cares about what you're trying to be if you're not putting in the work to become it. Stop selling dreams you ain't working for. The market doesn't care about your intention. It responds to your results, and results don't lie. Your work ethic tells the truth every time. You ever notice how champions move? Quiet, focused, disciplined. That's branding. That's identity. They don't got to talk about what they're doing because the results are doing the talking for. You worried about how many people see you. They worried about how many they can serve, how much impact they can deliver. That's what separates amateurs from professionals. Effort, execution, energy. And listen, I'm not saying you can't have a brand. I'm not saying you can't have style. I'm saying your substance better be 10 times louder than your style, because style might get attention, but substance keeps it. The work you put in, that's what makes people follow you without asking. That's what makes opportunities chase you down. That's what makes people whisper your name in rooms you've never even entered. Your work is your voice. And the thing about your work ethic, it's not on display just when it's convenient. It shows up in how you study, how you train, how you speak to others, how you carry yourself when no one's clapping for you. Can you grind when there's no glory? Can you perform without praise? That's what defines the greats. You don't brand yourself in the spotlight. You earn it in the shadows. Some of y'all don't even realize you're branding yourself every single day. When you show up late, that's branding. When you give 50%, that's branding. When you make excuses, people take notes. And that becomes the story they attach to your name. So what story are you telling the world with your effort? What narrative are you building through your consistency or your lack of it? Let me tell you something personal. I didn't get to where I am because I was the most talented. I didn't have the best connections. I wasn't born into success, but I outworked people. I outlasted people. I outran excuses, and that became my brand. You knew if Eric Thomas showed up, he was bringing everything. Every ounce of passion, every breath of energy, every drop of sweat. And that's why people call. That's why people book. That's why people follow. Because they know I bring it. Not sometimes, not when I feel like it. Every time. I need you to hear me. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You don't need followers. You need a work ethic that scares people. A hunger that makes average uncomfortable. A commitment that makes people rethink what's possible. Because that kind of grind, that becomes your identity. That becomes your fingerprint. That becomes your legacy. So don't tell me you want to be great. Show me. Don't tell me you're passionate, prove it. Let your alarm clock be your announcement. Let your calendar be your resume. Let your results be your bio. Because in the end, nobody's buying a brand. They're buying you. And if your work ethic ain't real, your brand ain't either. You keep wondering why doors ain't opening, why people ain't believing in your vision, why they nod their head when you talk, but never show up when you call. I'll tell you why. Because you ain't consistent. You show up when it's easy. You grind when you feel inspired. You bring the energy on Monday, but by Thursday, you dragging. And people see that. People feel that the world doesn't trust what's unpredictable. The world don't follow flashes. It follows flames that burn every day. Consistency is the only proof you're serious. You can say all the right things. You can dress the part. You can post the quotes. But if you're not showing up every single day, you're just noise. You hear me? Noise? And let me tell you something about noise. It gets ignored. But when you're consistent, when you show up with purpose every single time, now you're not just being seen, you're being trusted. And that's what branding's about. It's about building trust. Not just looking good, but being good repeatedly. See, people want to know who they're dealing with. Are you the type to ride the highs and disappear when it gets uncomfortable? Or are you that rare breed that shows up even when your life is falling apart? Can people count on you when the weather's bad, when your feelings are off, when your bank account low, when your mood ain't right? That's what makes you memorable. That's what makes you reliable. Because success don't care how you feel. It cares if you show up and do the job regardless. You know what separates the greats? Not talent, not connections, discipline, consistency. You don't become world-class by having world-class days. You get there by doing average things with unmatched consistency. I ain't saying every workout gotta be perfect. I ain't saying every speech gotta be viral, but you gotta show up and give it what you got, even if it's only 70%. Give it all of your 70. People need to see repetition. Repetition builds rhythm. Rhythm builds belief, and belief builds trust. If you post once and disappear for a month, if you grind hard for 2 weeks and quit for 3, if you start strong and never finish, you're training the world not to believe in you because your actions are telling them you're not dependable. And let me tell you something about the game of life. Dependability is currency. It's more valuable than talent, more valuable than hype, because people will always invest in someone they can trust to show up. You ever wondered why some people with less talent are out here winning? Why they getting booked? Why they getting promoted? It's because they show up. They're predictable in the best way. They don't leave people guessing. They don't leave people guessing. They don't leave people hanging. They deliver over and over and over again. And that consistency makes people say, I want that one. I want her on my team. I want him leading this project. Not because they're flashy, but because they're faithful to the grind. Let me keep it real. Success ain't a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. And if you ain't living it day in and day out, don't expect to stand next to people who do. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop looking for motivation. Start training your mind to be consistent. Because when your mind gets trained, your body follows. Your schedule follows, your brain follows. You want to be great, but your schedule ain't great. Your habits ain't great. Your consistency is weak, and that's why people don't take you seriously. You want your name to mean something? Then make sure every time they hear your name, connected to excellence, connected to hard work, connected to someone who don't quit. Because if your actions aren't consistent, your name won't be either. I've been at the bottom. I've had days when the tank was empty. I've had days when the tears came before the alarm. But I didn't let those days define me. I let my consistency carry me. You think I felt powerful every day? God felt powerful every day. You think I felt confident every time I grabbed the mic? No. But I showed up anyway. I stayed in motion. I trusted the process even when the results were slow. And that rhythm, that consistency, it became my identity. It became my reputation. It became my brain. And now people don't ask if I can deliver. They already know. Because I've trained them to trust me through my consistency. Not just by what I said, but by what I did. That's the difference. Anybody can start. Anybody can be high for a week. But what separates the rare few is that they bring it day after day, no matter what life throws at them. So I don't want to hear about your dreams until I see your daily. I don't care about your 5-year vision if you can't handle 5 days of consistency. Because if you're not willing to do it again and again, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, you're not branding yourself for greatness. You're branding yourself for mediocrity. Every single person walking this planet is standing for something, whether they realize it or not. Even if you say you're neutral, you're still standing for silence. And let me tell you something. Silence doesn't build legend. Silence doesn't build movements. Silence doesn't build movements. Silence doesn't build brands. If you're not bold enough to stand for something, you'll get swept up in anything. You'll follow trends instead of setting them. You'll blend in when you were born to stand out. Look around. The people who rise, the people who last, the people who are unforgettable, they have something deep in their soul that they won't compromise. Something they believe in so strongly that they're willing to fight for it, sacrifice for it, be misunderstood for it. That's branding. That's branding. Branding ain't just colors. It ain't catchphrases. It's about identity. It's about staying tall in what you believe, even when everyone else is sitting down. You think people follow Martin Luther King Jr. because he was polished? You think they follow Muhammad Ali because he smiled for the cameras? No. They followed them because they stood for something. They weren't trying to please everybody. They were trying to speak truth, live truth, and walk in something bigger than themselves. They were rooted, and that root made them unshakable. Some of you keep wondering why people don't take you seriously. It's because they can't figure out who you are. One day you're this, the next day you're that. One moment you're chasing your dream. The next moment you're quiet because someone criticized you. You're too worried about being liked, too afraid of offending, too busy trying to blend in. And while you're busy trying to be everything to everyone, you're becoming nothing to yourself. The world doesn't need more copies. The world needs more conviction. People don't follow the loudest. They follow the clearest. If your message keeps changing with the crowd, if your standards keep shifting depending on who's watching, you're not building a brand. You're building confusion. People don't invest in confusion. People don't respect inconsistency. They follow certainty. They follow people who say, oh, this is who I am. This is what I believe. And this is how I move. Standing for something means you're going to take some hits. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose people. You're going to offend those who are too afraid to live with conviction. But that's the cost of greatness. You're not here to be comfortable. You're here to be impactful. You want to leave a mark? Then be willing to stand alone. Be willing to be doubted. Be willing to be talked about. That's the price you pay when you refuse to compromise. You don't need everyone's approval. You don't need everyone to clap for you. You need to be able to look in the mirror and know you didn't fold. That your actions line up with your beliefs. That your brand is rooted in something real, something solid. Because when storms come, and they will, if you're not standing on something firm, you'll fall apart. And let me say this to the ones who keep changing just to fit in. Stop shrinking to make people comfortable. Stop dimming your light because others aren't ready to shine. Stop hiding what you believe in because you're afraid of backlash. The backlash is proof that you're making waves. It's proof that you're shaking something loose. You were never meant to be silent. You were never meant to go with the flow. You were meant to stand out and stand out and stand up. You need to decide today, what do I stand for? What are my values? What are my non-negotiables? Because if you don't decide that for yourself, the world will decide for you. And most times it'll give you something watered down, something weak, something fake, something fake. And you'll wake up one day and realize you became someone you don't even recognize. All because you were too scared to draw a line and say, this is who I am. You want to brand yourself, then brand yourself in truth, in purpose, in boldness. Let people say, if she don't back down, let them say he stands for excellence. Let them know that when your name comes up, it's attached to something solid, something people can count on, something people can believe in, even if they don't agree with you. Look, standing for something doesn't mean you'll be perfect. You'll mess up. You'll get it wrong sometime, but at least you'll be real. At least you'll be honest. And that honesty builds something stronger than any image ever could. It builds trust. And trust, once earned, is the most powerful brand you could ever create. So stop living like your reputation don't matter. It does. Every choice, every post, every word, every relationship, they all build your name. And your name needs to stand for something more than noise. It needs to stand for purpose, for excellence, for resilience, for heart, Because when you stand for something, you inspire others to stand too. You want people to remember you? Then stop playing small. Stop waiting on permission to take up space. Stop asking the world if it's okay for you to be great. If you want to be remembered, then you better show up bold. Show up loud. Show up loud. Show up with that energy that says, I'm not here to fit in. I'm here to leave a mark. Because let me tell you something, the world has enough average. The world has enough safe, enough predictable. But bold stands out bold ass. You keep tiptoeing around your gift like you're afraid it's gonna scare people. That's the point. It's supposed to. You were designed to disturb the atmosphere, to make people uncomfortable with your level of intensity, with your belief, with your vision. But you've been shrinking. You've been second guessing. And every time you do that, you dilute your brand. You weaken your message. You blend in with the ones who gave up before they ever really started. Let me ask you something real. Are you living loud enough that people feel your presence even after you leave the room? Because if they forget you 5 minutes after you're gone, you weren't bold enough, you were forgettable. And I don't care how talented you are. If you don't own your space, if you don't speak with authority, if you don't act like what you're doing matters, the world won't treat it like it matters either. Look, branding yourself boldly doesn't mean being arrogant. It doesn't mean being obnoxious. It means being unapologetically clear about who you are and what you bring to the table. It means no more dimming your light to make other people feel okay about playing small. It means no more waiting on the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect audience. You are the moment. You are the opportunity. And if the audience ain't ready, then wake them up with your boldness. I need you to stop asking, what if they don't like me? And start asking, what if they need me? Because somebody out there is waiting for you to be brave enough to be you. To be bold enough to tell the truth. To be real enough to stop sugarcoating what you were born to say. But you out here hesitating, trying not to offend, trying not to stand out too much. And that hesitation is killing your brand, killing your dream, killing your impact. You think people remember the ones who are polite and quiet about their purpose? No, they remember the ones who stepped into the room and shook it. The ones who said, I've got something to say, and then said it with their chest. And that's what branding is. It's not a logo. It's not a slogan. It's your energy. It's how you show up. It's how you move. It's the way your actions scream long before your words ever speak. You're not gonna build anything meaningful by playing safe. You're not gonna make history by waiting for approval. The ones who changed the world, they weren't always liked. They weren't always accepted, but they were bold, and that boldness branded them into history. People may not have understood them, but they never forgot them. And that's the key. Don't aim to be like, aim to be legendary. And listen, I get it. Bold is scared, bold is risky. Bold means you're gonna be talked about, judged, misunderstood. But guess what? You're gonna be talked about anyway. So you might as well give them something powerful to talk about. You might as well live so loud that even your silence echoes. You might as well brand yourself with such strength that even your haters become your marketing team. People don't rally behind whispers. They rally behind a roar, behind someone who says, this is who I am. This is what I do. It is where I'm going with or without you. That's the kind of posture you need. Not arrogance, assurance. Assurance in your gift, assurance in your vision. Assurance that the work you're doing matters too much to stay quiet about. Let me be real with you. Nobody is coming to brand you. Nobody is coming to give you the green light. You got to take ownership. You got to decide, this is my name. This is my mission. This is my moment. You got to make noise with your consistency. You got to speak with your execution. Because boldness ain't just what you say. It's how you show up in your discipline. Every day you stay silent, somebody else gets louder. Every day you hold back, someone else takes the spot that was meant for you. So stop playing, stop stalling, stop living like you got time to wait. Be bold now, be bold with your gift, be bold with your goals, be bold with your brain. Because the world doesn't remember the ones who waited, it remembers the ones who declared. You keep thinking your story disqualifies you. You keep hiding your past like it's a scar when it's really your signature. You're trying to show the world the polished version, the edited version, the one that's safe and clean. Well, let me tell you something. People don't connect to perfection. They connect to real. They connect to the fight. They connect to the flaws. They connect to that moment. You got knocked down and decided to get back up anyway. You've been through some stuff. Don't you dare waste that. Don't bury the very thing that could build your brain. You don't need to act like you've had it all figured out. You don't need to pretend you've never struggled. In fact, it's the struggle that makes you credible. It's the pain that makes your platform powerful. You trying to inspire people with a highlight reel when what they need is the raw footage, the behind the scene, the truth. I need you to stop being ashamed of your story. You went through what you went through for a reason. All that brokenness, all that failure, that season when you were crying alone in silence, that moment when you were ready to quit, ready to walk away, ready to disappear, that wasn't the end. That was the foundation. That was the place your brand was born. That was when you discovered who you really are, when everything fake fell off and only the truth was left standing. See, you don't build a brand with fairy tales. You build it with testimony, and your testimony is what separates you from everybody else. Your story is the fingerprint nobody else has, the roadmap no one else traveled, the pain nobody else felt the same way. And when you own that story, when you stop hiding and start telling it, people don't just follow you. They believe you. They trust you. They see themselves in you. Somebody out there is going through what you already survived. Somebody is right now sitting in the same dark place you escaped from. And they don't need a guru. They don't need a superstar. They need a witness. They need to hear you say, I was there too. I was there too. I didn't think I'd make it either. But I kept believing. I kept showing up when it didn't make sense. That kind of authenticity is what creates loyalty. It's what creates impact. That's what brands you as real. You want to know why people don't connect with you. It's because you're too busy trying to be impressive when you need to be authentic. People aren't moved by your accomplishments. They're moved by your transparency. They don't care how perfect your journey looks. They want to know if you really lived it. They want to feel your scars, not your filters. And I get it. Telling your story is scary. It's vulnerable. It makes you feel exposed. But listen, vulnerability is not weakness. It's power under control. It's courage dressed in honesty. The moment you stop hiding your past, you start freeing people from theirs. The moment you open your mouth about your truth, you unlock somebody else's healing. You think you're just telling your story, but really you're lighting the way. You don't need a degree to brand yourself. You don't need 1 million followers. You need your truth and the courage to speak it. You need to walk in your story with your head high, knowing that what you've been through didn't break you. It built you. And now it's time to use that as your platform. Let the world know you didn't just survive. You came out stronger. You came out wiser. You came out wiser. You came out on purpose. Let your pain become your message. Let your setback become your signature. When they ask who you are, tell them you're the one who got back up. Tell them you're the one who didn't quit. Tell them you're the one who found power in the middle of the pit. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you memorable. Not the suit you wear, not the words you say, but the fact that when life hit hard, you hit back harder. You don't owe the world a perfect version of you. You owe it a real one, a bold one. One that says, here's what I've been through. Here's what I've learned. And here's how I can help you too. That's branding. That's legacy. And that's how you turn pain into purpose. So don't water your story down to make people comfortable. Don't silence yourself to fit the mold. Don't leave out the parts that hurt, because those are the parts that heal. Somebody out there doesn't need your silence. They need your truth. They need your tears. They need your resilience. And most of all, they need to see what it looks like to go through hell and still come out unapologetically whole. You keep waiting for your big break, for your moment to shine, like someone's supposed to come along, tap you on the shoulder and say, it's your turn. Let me help you out. Nobody's coming. There's no magic moment, no special invitation, no golden ticket. You've got to stop waiting to start building. You don't find a brand. You build one. Brick by brick, day by day, sweat by sweat, every successful person you admire. They one-handed their brand. They crafted it. They worked for it when nobody knew their name, when nobody clapped for them. When nobody posted about them or hyped them up, they showed up anyway. They built in silence. They built with consistency. They built with a commitment to excellence even when no one was watching. You want people to believe in you. Then believe in yourself first. Build like your life depends on. Build like someone out there is counting on what you've been called to create. You don't need a team of designers or a marketing guru or a viral moment. You need grit. You need discipline. You need to get up every day and decide, this is who I am, and this is what I'm building, no matter what it costs me. Stop scrolling and comparing. I'll stop watching other people live out your dream while you hesitate. You got the vision? Then put in the work. Start small if you have to. Start messy. But just start. You keep thinking, I'll start when I have the right tools. No, use what you have. Start with what's in your hand. Because let me tell you something. Consistency will beat talent when talent doesn't show up. Execution will beat ideas every single time. You're sitting on potential, wasting it because you're afraid it's not perfect yet. Let me drop a truth bomb. Your brand won't be perfect, not today, not tomorrow, but it will be real. It will be yours. It will evolve with you. And that's what makes it powerful. People don't follow perfection. They follow growth. They follow progress. They follow the ones who show up day after day, no matter how hard it gets. Look, you can't build a brand off momentum that comes and goes. You build it on habits, on routine, on that 5 a.m. grind when everybody else is sleeping, on that it show up anyway attitude, even when you're tired, even when you're broke, even when you're discouraged. You think the world is going to reward you for a few good days of effort? No, it rewards the ones who don't quit. Who build through the storm, who lay another brick even when the foundation is shaking. And stop thinking your brand is just what you post online. It's deeper than that. It's how you live. It's how you carry yourself when nobody is looking. It's how you treat people when you have nothing to gain. It's how you do the little things. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. Integrity is the mortar between the bricks of your brand. Without it, the whole thing falls apart. You've got to build a reputation that speaks before you enter the room, a presence that lingers after you leave. And that only comes through repetition, through stacking wins, through learning from losses and getting back up faster every time. Your brand isn't just your logo, it's your legacy. What are people going to say when your name comes up? Are they going to say, oh, he was talented? Or are they going to say, he was still different? He delivered. He never gave up. He never gave up. The reason you haven't seen results yet isn't because you're not capable. It's because you haven't committed. You've been dipping your toe in the water instead of jumping in head first. You've been treating your calling like a hobby and wondering why nobody respects it. Let me be real. If you don't take it seriously, no one else will. You've got to own it before it pays off. You've got to pay the price before you see the profit. This isn't about talent. This is about tenacity. You don't build a brand by talking about it. You build it by being about it. When others quit, you keep building. When they get distracted, you stay focused. When they seek applause, you seek progress. You want to be unforgettable, then do the work consistently. Let your grind be louder than your words. This is your season to stop dreaming and start doing. Stop waiting for someone to validate your gift. Stop hoping the stars align. Build like they already have. Build like it's already yours. Because the truth is, the brand you're looking for is already inside you. It just needs to be activated by action, by commitment, by perseverance. So get up, grab your hammer, lay another brick and another brick and another. Build the thing that can't be shaken. Build in private so one day it stands strong in public. You don't need luck. You need grind. And the world doesn't give results to the most talented. It gives them to the most relentless. Everybody wants to shine, but nobody wants to grind. Everybody wants to be known, to be respected, to be remembered, but few are willing to outwork the noise. See, it's easy to post. It's easy to say, I'm gonna make it when it's convenient. But the ones who really build something that lasts, they don't just talk about it. They outwork it. They silence the doubters, the critics, the distractions with grit, grind, and grace under fire. You say you want a brand, then act like it, show up like it, move like it, execute like your life depends in a way it does. Your dream, your purpose, your impact, they all depend on how hard you're willing to work. Not just when it's exciting, not just when the likes are pouring in. I'm talking about those days when your body is tired, your mind is cluttered, and no one's clapping. but you show up anyway. You've got to learn to be consistent when it's quiet. That's where real branding happens. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. In the gym when no one's watching. At your desk at 3 a.m. while the rest of the world is sleeping. In the kitchen, in the garage, in that back room, creating, studying, building, bleeding, working. You don't outshine the noise by yelling louder. You outshine it by being so undeniable they can't ignore you. People are watching you. Not just what you post, but how you move when no one's looking. They see how you show up every day, how you handle pressure, how you handle silence. That's your brand. Your name has to become synonymous with excellence. You have to become the one people think of when they hear hard work or discipline, integrity, and results. But that kind of name doesn't come from talent. It comes from time put in. You want to rise above the noise, then stop getting distracted by it. People talking about you, good. Let them talk. People doubting you, good. Let them watch. Every second you spend trying to explain yourself is a second you're not grinding. Let your work talk. Let your output speak. Let your execution tell the story. Because at the end of the day, people don't remember noise. They remember impact. And don't get it twisted. This grind isn't cute. It's not for show. This isn't about appearances. This is about going to war for your purpose. This is about waking up every day and choosing discipline over comfort. Choosing consistency over mood. Choosing to push past tired, past boredom, past excuses. Because your brand is only as strong as your work ethic. You can't post your way to greatness. You can't hashtag your way to legacy. You have to grind for it. You think Kobe became Kobe on talent alone. No, it was 4 a.m. workouts. It was 1,000 shots before breakfast. It was watching film while others were partying. Greatness has a price, and you have to decide if you're willing to pay it. If you're willing to sacrifice ease for excellence, if you're willing to give your all on the days when you feel like you have nothing left. That's how brands are built. That's how legends are made. And hear me, this ain't about being flashy. It's about being real, being relentless, being a storm that keeps moving forward no matter what's in the way. You gotta stop looking for shortcuts. There are none. If you wanna rise, you gotta dig. If you wanna stand out, you gotta be disciplined when it's hard. You gotta be focused when it's boring. When others doubt, I deliver. You're not here to compete. You're here to dominate. And domination doesn't come from noise. It comes from the quiet hours, from the early mornings and late nights, from the repetition, from doing the same thing the right way over and over until it becomes muscle memory. You want to be remembered? Then outlast the ones who quit. Outshine the ones who make excuses. It's not just about fonts and colors and logos. It's about how people feel when they come across your presence. Do they feel inspired? Do they feel challenged? Do they feel seen? Because that's your brand. That's your imprint. Your energy should be so consistent, so authentic, that when people hear your name, they feel something. But that doesn't happen by accident. You gotta be intentional. Intentional with how you speak, how you show up, how you serve. Every post, every word, every action, it's either reinforcing your brand or weakening it. You've gotta be so locked in that no matter where someone finds you, online, in person, in your content, they get the same version of you. That's how you build trust. That's how you build a movement. You think being different is risky? You think telling your truth might make some people walk away? Good. Let them walk. Because the ones who stay, they're your tribe. They're your foundation. And you don't need millions of followers to make impact. You just need alignment. Alignment with who you are and who you're serving. When that clicks, everything changes. You want to go viral? That's cool. But I'd rather you go vital. I'd rather you be essential to somebody's breakthrough. I'd rather you be the voice they hear in their head when they're about to quit. That's what powerful branding does. It gets in people's soul, not just their feet. So stop waiting for someone to give you permission to stand out. Stop asking for the world to crown you when you were already chosen. Chosen to be different, chosen to lead, chosen to build something unforgettable. Don't mimic. Create. Don't chase on. Don't blend. Brand. You don't need to be louder than everyone else. You just need to be you. Consistently, confidently, and unapologetically. Let me tell you something that most people won't. The internet didn't make you lazy. It didn't make you lazy. It just exposed it. Social media didn't kill your dreams. Your lack of discipline did. You don't need more followers. You need more follow through. See, everybody's out here building brands based on moments, based on trends, based on likes. But you've got to build your brand on discipline, on consistency, on habits that don't bend under pressure. Everybody wants to go viral, but nobody wants to go internal. Nobody wants to master the boring stuff. They want the flash, the attention, the quick win. But that's not how legacy is built. Legacy is built. Legacy is built on repetition. Branding is about doing the right thing so many times for so long that it becomes second nature. It's about waking up and doing it whether you feel like it or not. Because let's be real. If your grind depends on your mood, your brand won't survive a week. You've got to build a system. Something that runs even when your energy doesn't. Something that protects you from the trap of emotion. I'm not talking about passion. I'm talking about discipline. Passion fades, but discipline is there when passion walks out. Discipline says, I'll show up regardless. Discipline doesn't check if it's raining. Discipline doesn't scroll through Instagram to get motivated. Discipline says, this is what I do. This is who I am. And that's the core of branding. It's identity. You don't just promote your brand, you become it. Your brand is not your logo. It's your lifestyle. It's how you move when no one's watching. It's how you operate when there's no camera, no applause, no audience. You want to be legendary? You better get used to repeating excellence without external rewards. You keep waiting for inspiration. But winners don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They build a routine that doesn't care about how they feel. Think about that. How many days have you wasted waiting to feel like it? You don't need more time. You don't need more time. You need more structure. You need to wake up and say, up from 5 to 7, I work. From 7 to 9, I create. From 9 to 10, I study. You need to own your hours before your hours on. Branding is not something you do once in a while. It's something you live. If your name is attached to it, it has to be right. Every post, every word, every interaction, every product, it has to scream. This is what I represent. You don't get to take days off from your brand because the second you stop being intentional, your audience starts to drift. Your impact starts to fade. Your consistency starts to slip. And when you slipping up, people stop trusting you. Discipline means you do it even when it's not working yet. Discipline says, nobody's watching, good. I'll keep going. Discipline says, no likes, no problem, I'm still consistent. Discipline says, I failed, I'll still show up tomorrow. That's the difference between people who build for a moment and those who build a movement. You can't build a powerful brand with a weak schedule. You can't say you want to be world class and then live average days. Your schedule is your strategy. Your routine is your brand. If you say you're about growth and you're not reading, not creating, not executing, then you're lying. If you say you're a leader, but you wake up at noon and don't plan your day, then you're not leading. You're reacting. You're just drifting, hoping something magical happens. I'm telling you right now, discipline will take you places talent never could. You can be the most talented person in your field, but if you're inconsistent, you'll lose to someone with half your skill and double your grind. Because the market doesn't reward potential, it rewards performance. And performance is tied to how well you show up every single day, no matter the weather, no matter the mood, no matter the feedback. Some of y'all are addicted to the applause. You're disciplined when people are watching. You work hard when there's a spotlight. But real branding is about quiet excellence. It's about grinding when there's no stage, no praise, no eyes on you, just you and your goals. That's the kind of consistency that builds momentum. That's the kind of grind that breaks through walls. It's not about being perfect. You're going to have off days. You're going to make mistakes. But discipline says, let's fix it and keep moving. Discipline doesn't allow you to spiral. Discipline is the voice that says, I'm back on track right now. That's why it's so important to build a lifestyle that reflects the person you're becoming. Not the one you were, not the one you're pretending to be, but the one you're working toward every day. You've got to protect your brand like it's your life. Because in a way, it is. Your brand is your reputation. Your brand is your standard. Your brand is the legacy you're building every single time you choose to act in alignment with your mission or not. You want to be trusted, be consistent. You want to be respected. You want to be remembered, be relentless. That's the real work. That's branding from the inside out. Not hype, Not hustle porn, not fake it till you make it. Just show up every day with intention, with integrity, with fire. You ever notice how most people talk about their goals like they're distant dreams? Like there's something to maybe get to someday if the stars align and the timing's right. But here's the truth. True future is not a maybe. It's not something you stumble into. It's something you build every single day with the choices you make right now. Every decision, every action, every mindset you adopt is a brick laying the foundation of your tomorrow. When you brand yourself, you're not just selling a product or a service, you're selling a promise. A promise to the world that you're here to deliver, to impact, to change. Your future deserves your fight because your future is your legacy. And legacies don't get built by accident. They get built by people who refuse to settle. People who refuse to be average. People who refuse to let excuses define them. See, the thing about fighting for your future is that it's hard. It's not glamorous. It's long days, tough nights, sacrifice, and discipline. It's missing out on comfort, on instant gratification, on easy roads. But the people who win, the people who build brands that last, are the ones who understand this truth. That the fight is where the growth happens. The fight is where you learn what you're really made of. The fight is where you separate yourself from the crowd. Your future deserves your fight because it's the ultimate test of your commitment. When things get tough, when people doubt you, when the world feels like it's against you, that's when you fight hardest. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Because what you want on the other side is worth every bit of pain, every ounce of sweat, every second of struggle. You don't get a great future by sitting on the sideline. You get it by getting in the ring and going toe-to-toe with your obstacles. You have to realize that your future isn't waiting for you to catch up. It's moving forward every second. And if you're not pushing yourself, if you're not fighting for your place in it, you'll get left behind. Time doesn't stop. Opportunities don't wait. Dreams don't pause. If you want that future, you got to go out there and claim it. You got to hustle when others sleep, grind when others rest, believe when others doubt. And it's not just about working harder. It's about working smarter with a purpose and a plan. Fighting for your future means setting clear goals, mapping out your steps, and executing relentlessly. It means being honest about where you are now and where you want to be, and then doing the work to close that gap every day. You don't wait for motivation to show up. You create it through action. You fight for your future by showing up, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, even when no one else believes in you. Your brand, your legacy, your future, they all need that same fight. They need your resilience when doors close. They need your determination when the path gets rocky. They need your faith when the vision isn't clear yet. Because fighting for your future means staying committed even when the results aren't immediate. It means trusting the process when progress feels slow. It means embracing the grind, knowing that every rep, every task, every moment is bringing you closer to your destiny. The people who have made it big, who have built empires, who have changed their lives, the lives of others, they weren't born different. They didn't have more talent or luck. They just fought harder. They pushed through the pain. They stayed consistent. They kept their eyes on the prize and refused to quit. That's the mindset you got to adopt. That's the fight you got to bring every day. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let failure define you. Don't let setbacks stop you. Your future needs your fight because it's not guaranteed. It's earned. It's crafted with intention and grit. So get out there and prove that you want it more than you're afraid of it. Show that your hunger is bigger than your hesitation. Demonstrate that you're ready to price whatever it takes. Because here's the deal. Your future is worth every fight you've got inside you. It's worth every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every moment of discomfort. Your future is the sum of your daily battles, your relentless pursuit, your refusal to give up. So don't hold back. Don't settle. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. The fight is now. When you look back years from now, you want to see a story worth telling. A story of struggle, yes, but also triumph. A story of a fighter who didn't quit, who pushed through every obstacle, who built a brand, a legacy, a future with their own two hands. That story starts today. That story starts with the fight you choose to bring to your future right now.